Welcome, guys. See people trickling in here. Love to see it. We're going to wait a little bit longer just to make sure we got people rolling in. But for those that came right on time and sat in the waiting room, you guys can crown yourself as the most dedicated Gridiron Club members. You guys are ready and willing. Super excited about what we have here today for you guys. Just a little sneak peek into really what Saturday is going to look like. Let me start my presentation here as we've got a nice little pocket of people. So obviously, football is back. Really excited to welcome every one of you guys into the 2025 Gridiron Club Kickoff Zoom. We're going to touch on a couple things today. One of which is the fall captains that are on our Zoom today. You guys will get a chance to hear from them in a little bit. Ask them some questions after they're done introducing themselves. We'll also go over a camp recap. The full month of August was great in Cat Country, so breaking that down on best moments and hearing from Coach Thakkar himself, as well as a Georgetown preview. Right, the Hoyas are coming into town this weekend for a 1 o'clock kickoff, so touching on that, as well as some Gridiron Club updates and events, some things that I'm prideful of, what we were able to accomplish in June, and then what to look forward to, in this coming season with some changes to our hospitality areas. But like I said, football is back, and we are now officially in the Thakkar era. Super excited for what we've been building these past 8 months here off Exit 30. It's been a great camp. And I'm excited to be a part of the transition and to see what we've put in store for you guys this upcoming Saturday. But with that, the main man himself is here and ready to talk to you guys. So, Coach Thakkar, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Thanks, Jaden. Appreciate the introductions, and obviously appreciate everyone being here. Could be a lot of places tonight. It's about 80 degrees outside and sunny where we are. We appreciate you being on your computers and hearing about what we have in store here at Davidson Football. So, first things first, camp, we're going to get more into the details, but man, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. It's been competitive. It's been, high energy, but the day-to-day interaction with the players and the staff has been outstanding. And when you hear from some of our players, they'll be the first to attest. But I think what makes, this team and this place special, really, it's the connection between the players and the coaches and the relationships that are being built, and no better time than having a 4-week camp to be able to do that. So want to thank our staff. I know a couple guys might be on here, but in the middle of kind of game plan week as we get into our first practice of the week tomorrow, but just a big shout out to our staff. And, as they know, and they hear from me all the time, and I'm nothing without those guys. And whether it's on-field staff, or whether it's Jaden or Lewis, who are kind of our off the field support, who kind of handle everything A to Z. Couldn't be where we are, and couldn't be as excited for the first game coming up without those guys. So special shout out to them as we get going here. Awesome. Now, I would love to say, there's an old adage, right? It's not what you know, it's what your players know. I'm not suiting up Saturday. And trust me, none of you Davidson football supporters want that. We have a great group of players, and that starts at the top. So we recently named our 6 captains, who you guys will hear from here coming up. First off, want to know before we kind of get into the weeds that, these guys were all handpicked by the players themselves. Our staff had no say in this. This is 100% player vote, but after seeing the guys that were voted, us as a whole staff agreed that we couldn't have picked it really better any other way. First off, first guy I kind of want to introduce and turn the mic over to is our quarterback, Colter Cleveland. Colter is someone who I actually crossed paths with about 4 or 5 years ago in the recruiting process when I was an assistant at Harvard, and he came out to camp with us, and more excited to get the season going with Colt. He's been an awesome leader from the day that our staff got here, and he's improved day in and day out as a player, a leader, and has great command of what we're trying to do. Hand it over to Colt right now.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate that. It's good to get to talk to all you guys. And for those that I haven't been able to meet over these past couple of years, I'm Colter. I'm from a small town in Athens, Ohio. Meigs County, who's going to graduate in December, actually, which is crazy, with a PPE degree, which for most of y'all that might not know what that means, that's like politics, philosophy, and economics. So whenever I, leave Davidson here in December, I don't really know what I'm going to do after that, except for go to grad school and see, where that kind of takes me from there. But yeah, and I mean, like Coach said, I mean, we're super like pumped up, and I can speak like more so on like the quarterback room specifically. But I mean, it's been a lot of fun. I think we have a really good group of guys, like 5 of us, that we want to get in and like work every single day, and that's a testament to our staff, and like that's from the top down, starting with Coach Thakkar, and then like all the way down to our equipment staff and everything. It's like it's just a lot of fun, like and I think we're gonna have a really good season, and yeah, it starts at the top. But
Awesome. Well, Cole, hey, before you get off and wait for the Q&A, I do have a question for you. Obviously, all these Gridiron Club members support you guys every Saturday, but behind the scenes, right, what they do, I wanted to ask you, how you felt they've impacted your nutrition, here at Davidson College.
yeah, I mean, this has been like I think a highlight of like our camp. Like, I mean, in general, we have like the nutrition stations and stuff like that we kind of run year round. But I would say even more important than that is our fall camp before meal plans have started. Like everything that we eat, drink, like every snack we get is all funded from the team. Like it doesn't come from the school. So I mean, the fact that I think this is the first camp we've had where we maybe repeated meals like 2 or 3 times. Like we had new fresh stuff every day. Guys enjoyed it. I really didn't hear any complaints, which I think is like a testament to like you guys, Jaden, and everybody else, like setting it up for us. And then, but I mean, more importantly, like the Gridiron Club for making that possible.
Awesome. Thanks, Cole. We'll see you in a little bit here.
Of course.
Awesome. Next up, would like to introduce our defensive end, Micah Kent, who's a captain for us. So kind of backstory, Colt and Micah were the first 2 captains voted. We voted once after spring ball and then once towards the end of fall camp. And, Micah, on the field, off the field, as a representative of our programs, kind of everything you could ask for. One of the hardest workers in the weight room I've ever been around. And on top of that, he can get more into his academic workload, but an absolute rock star off the field as well. So I'll pass it over to Micah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Coach Thakkar. Thank you all for coming today. My name is Micah Kent. If you don't know me, I'm a senior biology major on the pre-med track. And I'm just really excited, for this year. I think it's gonna be a great year. I can speak on the D ends and D line as a group to, we came in pretty young. A lot of our guys transferred out. A lot of them graduated. So I'm really the only defensive lineman, almost defensive player other than our other captain Dom that have played. So I was a little worried coming into camp. Like we haven't really had anybody that's played for real. And throughout camp, I feel like the amount of growth we've had has been the most I've ever seen in a fall camp. Like I think the freshmen have tremendously grown. I feel like a lot of them could play day one. Like they have from day one to the end of fall camp, they have all been producing the way I thought they would. And so I'm just really excited for us to show what we have as a D line this year.
Fire me up, Micah. Well, just like Colt, you're not special. You're going to get the same treatment here, all right? So one of the things I wanted to ask you is, through the Gridiron Club, what's been the relationship with our alums and community members? What's that been like for you?
Yeah, especially being a pre-med major, I feel like it's kind of hard to navigate like where to go. It's not like a one path that, everybody can take. Being able to hear other alumni's experiences and how they've gone through it and what they did to get where they are, I think that's been a great thing for us. A lot of guys, they're able to talk to alumni and see like what they should be doing, what could they do after college, like what should they be doing now. I think that just honestly really helps a lot. And events like this, being able to meet new people, be able to find people that can help you out, it really helps for once football is over and you need to find out what to do next. So I think it's just a really big thing that helps out.
Yeah, football's small, but the 40 years after is longer, right? Love that. Love that. Thank you, Mike. See you soon.
Awesome. Next up, man who needs no introduction. If you follow David all the last couple of years, you've heard of Mari. Mari is obviously an outstanding player at the running back position for us, but I think what makes Mari an awesome leader and a great selection for captain is just how kind of level-headed he is. No moments too big, no moments too small. Seems to have a great relationship with everyone on the team, and is an awesome guy to get to coach and work with every day. So pass it over to Mari.
I appreciate you, Coach. My name is Maury Adams. I'm from Shelby, North Carolina. I'm like an hour down the road. I am a bio major with aspirations of becoming a physician assistant in the field of dermatology. And I feel like in the running back group, I feel like we all bonded. We all got closer during that time that we didn't have a coach, and I feel like that made us bond and also like just basically grow to one another. We all became closer. We all became talking a whole lot more than what we usually did. And then whenever our new coaching staff came in, they came in guns blazing. Like they knew what they wanted to do. We all got with the program, and we couldn't have asked for better coaches. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm ready for Saturday. They did us dirty last year, so Saturday is the get back. So I'm looking forward to it.
I am too, more. I'm too. Another thing, man, facilities. I mean, it's kind of been the hallmark of our whole entire past year, representing that, pushing that out. But you live in it every single day, right? Especially this fall camp. I don't think there was a day by where you weren't in this facility. So can you talk on, what it's meant to walk into this great place and, what it's done for you and your experience?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a blessing. 2 years ago, we were in an old facility, and so for instance, say we had meetings, we had to walk all the way to the school buildings, then we had to walk back to the facility. We just had to do a whole lot of walking, and just having the facility with all the different weight rooms, the training rooms, the meeting rooms, the big gallery for our big meeting, our team meetings. It's definitely a blessing, and it helps us keep us more focused on football a whole lot longer than what we did previously. So we are definitely grateful. We're definitely blessed to have y'all supporting us.
Lord knows I am too. I was in an office sharing, space with a defensive line coach. So now I got my own space. So it's good for me as well.
Awesome. Next up, we got Kyler Herring. Kyler's an offensive lineman for us, interior offensive lineman for us. And we all understand it all starts up front. Like if we're not great on the offensive and defensive line, we're not going to be a very good football team. And Kyler's the anchor of that O-line unit. And as a team leader, someone who just shows an understanding and a knowledge of the game, is able to help the younger guys out. Someone who always has a smile on his face, always joking around. Another one, just can't ask for a better representative of the program. So kick it over to Kyler.
I appreciate that, Coach. What's going on? I'm Kyler. Everyone that doesn't know me, from Memphis, Tennessee. Communications major, senior, with an interest getting into either media or HR work after I graduate here in the spring. I know I can speak for the O line just as a whole. That we kind of came into this camp with just a whole new energy. I think it was a big learning curve for a lot of us, just getting into new things, new schemes. Um, but I think it's a testament to the coaching staff, Coach Kenny, Coach Thakkar, just getting us ready. I think the O-line's had an amazing camp where I feel like everyone's gotten better. I can confidently say that I feel that I've gotten better. We stayed healthy this camp. So it's just been great all around, I could say.
Awesome. Well, obviously getting to and from places in our conference, spanning the whole country is difficult. But I think you got some points maybe to talk about, the travel within, what the Gridiron Club provides, if you want to touch on that.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely blessed in the Pioneer Conference with the travel schedule we get. We get to see some cool places. But I just know, like, through the Gridiron Club, like all of our flights, like I know it's not possible without, all the help from the Gridiron Club, and just being able to get flights. I know this year to Des Moines, Stetson. Um, it's a different kind of mindset when you hop on and off a plane rather than, going on a bus. Like I think it's just it helps people lock in a lot quicker when you're realizing everyone likes getting the cool photos of themselves, getting on and off the plane, holding their headphones. Everyone likes that kind of stuff. But even without, just the feeling cool, it's about a kind of just a business mindset that it gives us. So very grateful.
Thanks, Kyle.
Awesome. Next, would like to introduce Dom. Dom's a guy who not only is a leadership position on the football field, but is a leader on campus as well. The best thing I can say about Dom and kind of just turning a negative into a positive, unfortunately, Dom was coming off injury, grinding to get his way back. And when I tell you, man, he's the first guy here every morning getting his rehab stuff done. I mean, he sets a great example for kind of what we always talk about, and just having the response to whatever happens to you. So even though, Dom had an injury, he's coming off of that and was grinding every day to get better, always had a smile on his face and a great attitude, and excited to see him back on the field. Kick it over to Dom.
I appreciate it, Coach. Those who don't know me, I'm Dominic from Richmond, Texas, right outside of Houston. And yeah, just to talk a little bit about the DB room, I think being one of the least experienced, I was the only returning starter. Not many have really gotten in-game experience. I think we've grown a lot throughout camp, and I think all of the captains can attest to the fact that the DB room has gotten a lot better from start to finish. And that starts at the top with Coach Cam. Coach Cam came in. He set the tone. He held us accountable each and every day, and I think he made us not only better DBs but better football players in general. We all know the game a lot better, and that just helps us make decisions on the field. And we take whatever he learned straight from Indy, and you can see it going into like actual live periods. So I think it was great help.
Awesome. Dom, from Texas, man, how do we end up getting you?
I know. The Gridiron Club, that's the answer right there. They provide the coaches the opportunity to travel all across the country. It wasn't, what I'm saying, it's not easy going from North Carolina to Texas or even Cali, New York, Florida. But the Gridiron Club provides the coaches the opportunity to travel all across the country, and that helps the locker room a lot because it's not only the same type of people. You get people from all across the country. You bring different ideas, bring different personalities, and that just helps us grow, and we all just learn from each other. So yeah.
Oh man, I'm glad we were able to go and get you, man. Glad we were able to go get you.
Last but certainly not least, like to introduce Jaleel Sales. Jaleel, when you talk about just the right attitude and right mindset, works his butt off, doesn't take any plays off, but at the same time always has a smile on his face, knows that kind of balance between working hard but also bringing everyone up around him. Someone who's pulling freshmen aside daily, spending extra time with them, going over film and on the board, and always encouraging the team to come together, and definitely someone who I consider as a glue guy, someone who can keep the team together in the tough times and the tough days at camp. So kick it over to Jaleel.
I appreciate it, Coach. It's a pleasure to meet you guys if I haven't already. My name is Jaleel Sales. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I'm a biology major on the engineering track, and hopes to, after football is over one day, get my master's in biomedical engineering at Ohio State University. And as he mentioned before, I'm a wide receiver, and honestly, to speak for our wide receiver room, I think we've come a long way this fall camp. We've dealt with some injuries here and there, but I think we've added depth, got faster, and built a lot of chemistry over the board. Previously, it felt like the receiver room was kind of individualistic, but now it feels like we're coming together more as a group, and I think that also starts with Coach Wright. I think and how he's developed us, like with the small things like route running, blocking, and just understanding football when it comes to coverages and stuff like that. And, we are getting healthy again, and we do have some leaders within our receiver room outside of me. And I think this year will be a better year for the receivers with the new coaching staff and the new offense. I feel like there's a lot of more opportunities out there now with the new playbook and stuff like that. And I think the receiver room is really enlightened for this new beginnings.
Love it. And listen, wide receivers are known to be drippy for our older individuals that's just looking good out in the field, right? But can you talk to, what the equipment and situations look like, and how the Gridiron Clubs helps you kind of play more safe on the field?
I think the Gridiron Club has been like tremendously impactful for us, especially with our new addition of Coach Mike. We have sleds now, jug machines, extra padding and stuff like that, and it helps us really get the extra work in, extra reps, and it makes us more consistent with the necessary things. We've also got like new shoulder pads, gloves. I mean, I got a new helmet this year. I feel lighter, feel better, feel more comfortable. And it's more than also just the looks as far as like safety reasoning. I feel like, our new equipment has gone a long way. And also, I know with Lewis and Coach Saj, they even brought in new cameras, like new camera placements and new all type of equipment, and also like drones for like filming practices and whatnot. So I feel like, when it comes down to breaking down film and looking at things from an outside viewpoint and perspective, things have gotten a lot better within our equipment room.
Love it. Well, guys, everybody, want to open up the floor before our captains go. It's their first day of classes, so I bet they've already got homework. Y'all know the Davidson drill. But wanted to offer some questions. There should be a way for you to raise your hand within the chat features here. If you wanted to ask a question to our captain specifically, just raise your hand, or we can do it the old school style by unmuting. But wanted to offer, a chance for you guys to ask some questions. Got no takers? Well, we can't let these kids get off easy. All right, I'll start. I'll kick it off. From each of you guys, what's one game that you guys are excited about, at some point in the season? And listen, the easy answer is this Saturday, right? But there's one that, you're interested in. I'll start with you, Colt, kind of run down the line in which we introduce you guys.
Yeah, I mean, the really easy answer for me would be this week with Georgetown. I mean, that's the last team I played. Actually, I got injured in the first game versus them last year, so I missed the whole year. So I mean, it's gonna be a little weird, like playing the same team back to back. But outside of them, with taking the hard route, I'll go Dayton for me. Honestly, we number one, we haven't beat them yet since my freshman year. So Jaden passed last year, but so we lost to him the past two, and then just being an Ohio kid, like know a lot of guys on the team, like yeah, they always it's like just always a big game for me being from Ohio.
Next.
If I had to say, I think I would say St. Thomas. I think we haven't played them since freshman year, and I know a lot of us probably didn't play that game, but watching the game and it just was a bad taste in our mouth after that game. I feel like my coach told me I was gonna play, I didn't because weren't doing very well that game. I'm really excited that we get to play them. Usually they got let off easy because we haven't had a chance to play them these last couple of years, so I'm really excited to play them again.
Say for the easy answer, Georgetown, just because they beat us last year pretty bad, and we're really looking to get that back. But for the hard side, I would say Elon. Look forward to playing Elon. I feel like it's gonna definitely be good competition. And I also have a friend that plays running back up there, and we've been talking junk a little bit back and forth. So I feel like that'll be a good game, a good rivalry.
Come on, boys. Who's next?
I know for me, easy one would definitely be Georgetown, but I think I'm definitely looking forward, like Micah, to that St. Thomas game. We haven't seen them since our freshman year. And going up there, they had a pretty hostile environment for us when we were up there. But it's good competition. Definitely left a bad taste in our mouth. So definitely looking forward to getting them back here on our turf, and hopefully giving us some good work. So
I'll probably say besides I think the first three games because they're against higher FCS schools, and I think we can compete with them, and I want to show everybody that we can compete. But also St. Thomas as well. That was actually my first career start, so that was kind of a big game, and I think we were more than ready to get back from freshman year. So yeah.
Outside of Georgetown, I would definitely say Moorhead. Well, nah, I'll go Dayton. Dayton, like Colt said, really just from being from home, being from Ohio. A lot of guys on the team. And it's also a school that, and you look back in the past who didn't look at you and stuff like that. So it's also a sign of disrespect. And we have not beat them since our freshman year. So I think it'd be a good game to get back at them and show the PFL who's really at the top. You're muted, Jaden.
I appreciate that, Jaleel. Thank you. Nancy, I see that you're in here and you'd like to answer a question. I'm about to unmute you if you wanna ask the players.
Yes. Hi, Jaden. This is actually Hannah, along with Nancy,
Hey.
along with grandmother Barbara and her sister
The
Anna.
whole family.
The whole family is here. Big fans, Davidson football team. Love you guys. Anyways, my question is, what do you feel about football and practicing and playing football makes you a better student in person? How do you feel like that impacts you as a student and a person playing football?
Let's have just to keep it simple, guys. We have 3 people from the captain's answer, just so we can keep it on schedule here. But we'd love to. That's a great question. Great question.
Yeah, I can go ahead and start. For me, I think like the biggest thing, like I can probably speak for probably all of us, like the biggest thing you take away from playing football and really just like any sport at the collegiate level, especially, is like that time management and like discipline aspect of it. That's like what people will say is the hardest part, like just being a student, like in college, there's just so much stuff pulling you each direction, social life, like your 4 classes, whatever you're taking, like a bunch of different things. But knowing like how to lock in and like set aside time for certain things and really just like manage your time and not have a bunch of like, downtime throughout the day, like that to me is like the biggest thing that just sports in general, and then of course like playing football being one of the more time consuming sports on campus is like just preps you really well for.
So I would like to add on to that. I would definitely say that football it builds character. Not alone. I feel like different during hard times and things like that. It translates over into school. So say for instance, I have a hard test I have to study for. You know what I'm saying? I would have to study, you know what I'm saying, study hard and things like that, create the right habits in order to make a good grade on that test. It also teaches teamwork. Throughout life, you're probably going to be faced with some challenges and things like that, to where you have to talk and communicate and learn how to communicate with different people. So I feel like football definitely does translate with that. And also ambition, I feel like just the different things, like you're in the weight room going hard, and always just like everyone has the same goal to win. I feel like that ambition could also drive you in the academic setting as well.
Well, Roger, I see you also had a question. If you wanted to unmute yourself and ask it.
Yes, thank you, Jaden. Well, first of all, I just wanted to congratulate all of you for being selected for captain. That's a remarkable achievement. It's also a huge responsibility. You all are young. This is one of your first opportunities, one of your first big opportunities for leadership. I suspect you'll have many more in your future. But this is a great chance to practice leadership. And one recommendation I would have for you is, as you approach this, think about those leaders in your life that made a difference to you. People that you would like to follow. You would like to be a leader like that person. And here's my question then. I'm wondering, who are your exemplars of great leadership, and why did you look up to them, and perhaps hope to follow in their footsteps?
I can start off on this one. I think my example for a great leader is, I'm gonna start at home with my dad. I mean, this may not be, he may not be a celebrity or anything, but you're talking about someone who has taken care of a family every single day. He has to be selfless. You know what I'm saying? He has bad days at work. He has days where he doesn't feel like doing anything, but I always saw him give consistent effort. I always saw him lead the household in a way that it should be. And I think it speaks volumes to where, where I'm at, and then where all my siblings are at now. So I think he provided a great example for me and for my siblings, and that's who I look up to every day as a leader.
I would also go in my household. I would definitely say my mom. She kind of started off being a single mother and trying to raise me and my sister, and just watching everything she had to go through and trying to give us everything we needed. She kind of taught me everything like what I need to like focus on so I can be able to provide for my family one day. And just her wanting me to succeed in football, it kind of pushes me even more. Like every single game, she texts me once comes every game. So I think just me trying to succeed for her really like pushed me even more.
I'll go. I'm gonna say my mom, but Also my grandpa. My grandpa kind of came from nothing growing up. Actually an hour away from here in Winston-Salem. He grew up raising his siblings, in the unfortunate times back in the day, and he grew up, raised them, and then he also raised me into the man I am today. He's also a minister, so he's also instilled those like beliefs and traditions inside my life, allowed me to become the man I am today, and how I value life. And I think it's a very big reason why I am here today and where I'm at.
It's awesome, guys. Love those testimonies. Appreciate the question, Roger. Some of the questions that have been asked, we can hold them off for Coach Thakkar at the end, except for one, and this might cause some competition between the captains here. We had, the seminarios asked, who was the bench press champion from this past Lift for Life, and how many did they lift? Do you guys know that off the top of your head?
Yeah, it was me actually. I hit 50. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I actually don't know. Who was it?
Had to be Coulter.
That's a good question. I have no idea.
Micah had to be up there. I guarantee that.
I think I was second because I feel like I think Big Chris got more reps, but he was using the pads. So I don't know if that counts. I think I might be first place.
I think Liam Turner was up there.
Yeah, he might. Oh yeah, he might have been up there.
Micah, how many did you hit, just for perspective?
I want to say, was it 24, 25? One of the two, 24, 25.
I think when you get up in the 20s, you're good. I think you're up in the 20s, you're good. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you guys for taking the time on day one. Look forward to seeing you guys at practice tomorrow after the off day, and let's go get the Hoyas. All right. We'll see you soon. Appreciate it, boys.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it.
All right, Coach. I'm going to kick it back over to you here.
Absolutely. Great work from our captains there, as you guys can all see. I mean, obviously great players and great leaders, but more importantly, great people. I got my kids around here all the time. My wife, my family's always around, and man, they are great role models for my kids, and they go out of their way. Like they'll grab my kids on the practice field in the building, just kind of hang out with them. And not just the captains, but as a team, I feel like I got 95 babysitters I don't got to pay for, so it's a great thing. But yeah, with camp, it's the best time of the year as a football coach. Like you get these kids for 4 weeks, essentially a month, where they can be full-time football players, and it's a lot of fun. It's also a lot of work, and that's where the bonding happens. So the first thing I can say about camp is I feel as a coach, we are a much closer team now than we were at the start of camp, and definitely from where we were at the start, the spring when our staff got here. Some of that happens naturally. Just you spend more time with people and more interactions. But a lot of that, was because of the work that we were able to put in. Our coaches coach these guys hard, but they love them and treat them like family equally as much. And that's what we want. We're demanding on the guys, but we're also their number one fans. And if there were, one day we'll show some clips of just how excited our coaches get when good plays happen on offense, defense, or special teams during practice, and we're in there with the guys. I think, when we set out into camp, our number one goal, as it is every year in camp, is to really figure out your identity, right? Like, who is our team going to be this fall? And when we got, we thought we had an idea when we got here, and then you actually go and do it, and a lot really plays itself out. But, one thing I can tell you about our team is we're going to be really good up front. We're going to be a team that wants to dominate the line of scrimmage. I think our offensive line and our defensive line are probably the two position groups that I can say have grown the most and have had the most on their plate for different reasons. I think our offensive line having to learn a whole new scheme. I mean, a lot of these guys have played 4 years of college football and haven't really had to pass protect that much. We're going to ask them to pass protect a lot. We're going to be a pretty balanced offense. A lot of these guys, unfortunately, we're coming off injury. So 3 or 4 of these offensive linemen that are, going to play a lot for us this fall took 0 reps during spring practice because obviously not their fault, but they were rehabbing off of surgeries and things like that. So the growth they had, and then, more so on the defensive line, their challenge was kind of what Micah alluded to earlier. Is we're young. And we have a lot of guys on the front that we're relying on to make plays at a championship level who haven't played much college football yet. And just seeing the growth of those two units, starting with our coaches, Coach Kennedy on the O-line and Coach Kasabian and Coach Perry Martin on the D-line, just getting the guys ready to play and bringing our young guys along physically, mentally, and emotionally to a standpoint where they're going to be awesome players for us this fall. The next thing you look for in camp is for guys to really establish themselves as leaders. And as you guys just heard from our captains, we had that. We had guys that stepped up, not just from a day-to-day basis, because kind of our line here is leading by example, just doing your job. That's guys that do their job really well, lead by example. So just leading by example isn't enough. If you want to be a leader on our team, you have to be willing to have hard conversations with people. You got to be willing to spend extra time and build relationships, not just within our program, but also outside of our program, on campus, in the community. And our guys were able to do that. And then lastly, you want guys to kind of find a role for themselves going into game one. And I think we were able to establish those or accomplish those three goals. I think we had, a lot of position battles and competition that we'll kind of get more into as we go along here. But I think a lot of that sorted itself out. We give guys plenty of reps and plenty of opportunities and team periods and group work periods and live periods and scrimmage situations to earn playing time and really find kind of what their role is going to be. And football is a fluid game. You could go from being someone who is third on the depth chart to first in the depth chart in 2-3 plays. And we built that depth through camp, through that competition, and our guys stepped up and put themselves in positions to be successful this fall. Some highlights here for you guys, just some key plays from camp. Right there, we got Andrew Frazier, who's an athlete quarterback for us, making a play at receiver. We got Mari Adams right there, Deuce, who you heard from earlier, making a big play in the run game. Little scramble situation here from the offense and a deep ball downfield in a 2-minute drill type situation, and a great talk about what we're looking for from an effort and toughness standpoint, just playing through the echo of the whistle. Right, you can see the guys getting excited there, everyone on the field celebrating, and a practice situation here with some high emotion and guys competing. Here you see in a group work period, defense really stepping up, causing deflections. It starts with turning the ball over on defense. You see a great one-on-one competition rep here and a great catch at the top, just kind of coming down with the ball, some juice at the end of that. Guys getting in there. Here again, defensively, just playing the ball in the air. And I think our defensive backs did an awesome job this camp of doing that. Back-to-back plays right here of guys just tipping the ball down and making plays, being confident with the ball up in the air. Great contested catch in the back of the end zone here. And this is kind of towards the end of our spring game. There's Dom, who you heard from earlier, was working back from injury, getting back in there, having a huge pass breakup and a red zone third down. The same thing here. A couple young guys getting up, 2 freshmen right there, and you guys can see the juice from the coaching staff and players and kind of the energy that's out there. So just some quick highlights from some key plays from camp here over these last few weeks. Kind of what we're talking about this earlier, but just some of the position battles that I think really worked themselves out, and some of it was just kind of seeing guys who could do it once the lights were on, once we had refs out there and the scrimmage situations. And I think our defensive back room was one that was really challenged. They were a unit who, there's no secret. Last year, our pass defense, our defense in general wasn't good. We had a lot of growth to do on the defensive side of the ball, but I'm very, very encouraged where our defensive back room is, starting with Dom as a leader, but talk about guys like Landon Gleason and Tegan Cole, Jamal Chandler-Fuller. That's 4 safeties right there that we feel really confident in. We had Shea Ragland really step up at corner for us. He's someone I'm really excited to see just kind of going forward, but really, and Lamar Bolden, who brings awesome energy every day, is someone who can be a lockdown corner, but also someone that can be physical and be a factor in the run game for us. So just that defensive back room, having those guys compete against, our receivers, both of those sides really made themselves better. every day. At the quarterback position, I mean, Coulter really established himself as the leader of our quarterback room and our offense. But Casey Bullock, who's going to be our number 2, kind of going into the season, has showed flashes of being an outstanding football player in our system. Really excited about our tight end room. For our system to work, we have to have tight ends that are really versatile. That we ask them to block at the line of scrimmage, play at the slot receiver position, make plays in the backfield. We have 2 or 3 guys who can really do that for us, who we're excited about. And then our running back room, and I've been fortunate in my career to coach some outstanding running backs. Had 3 guys go on to play in the NFL, and our running back room is as deep of any room I've ever been a part of in my career. Starting with Mari and Mason and Will Jones and Brody Berg, guys stepping up. Like, we have 4 or 5, when healthy, maybe even 6 guys that can impact a game. Which is unheard of. But when you play a 12-game season and kind of use the run game that we have between the tackles and the gap scheme and things, and you need big physical backs, and the more that you have, the better. And we got guys who are really confident in there. And we talked about the line of scrimmage on both sides and how we feel about that. And lastly, I think we've had quite a battle in the special teams game. We had 2 guys kind of competing for our kicker spot and punter spot, or 3 guys really, I should say, for our specialist spot. And we're in a good position that I think all 3 are going to play for us and have their respective role. But that's been a pretty intense competition. And those guys have, that position, so much of it is performing under pressure. And we put those guys in some high pressure situations, some last minute field goal, 2-minute drive type situations. And, they've responded really well. So excited about where that room's at as well. And when you talk about our identity and culture, I mean, it starts like, we're going to be the toughest team in America. Like, we got to be physically, mentally, and emotionally tough. We're going to be awesome at situational football. We practice a situation every single day, starting with the first day at camp. And we've spent time on red zone, 2-minute, backed up, goal line, 4-minute, you name it, we work it. That's kind of my big thing. We got to be really smart there. And we got to be a team that really values the football on offense and that can really take the football away on defense. The ball is everything. If we can protect it and if we can take it away, we're going to be in great shape. Just some cool stuff here from Media Day. Give you guys a little sneak peek for being on this call. This weekend, we're going to be in the red jerseys and the white game pants. You heard it here first. So you guys got the exclusive from there. We let our captains kind of pick our uniform combination every single week. So that was their pick for week 1, but just some cool shots here. Some of our older guys, some of our leaders. Awesome. Now going into week 1, right? Everyone kind of wants to know kind of what's the plan. I mean, we can start by talking with our opponent. I think it's always important to respect your opponent and, understand their strengths and weaknesses. I know, just seeing the things you see online and, returning guys and stats and stuff. I know offensively, number 13, they're really high on their receiver, kid Jimmy Kibble, who's possession guy, can really go up and get the football and make contested catches. It's their guy they go to on third down. He had 14 or 15 third down conversions himself last year. So he's a guy that they're really high on. They're really big on the offensive line. We know that. We're ready for that. And then their quarterback is a returning starter, a big kid who can really throw the ball. It's number 15, Danny Lauder. He's again, big arm, can get the ball where it needs to get to, and we'll try to definitely get the ball out of his hands quick and be able to use the field. And then defensively, they have 2 guys who they're really high on and a couple others that have made a lot of plays for them. But 58, Cooper Blomstrom is their kind of hybrid defensive end, outside linebacker, edge guy. He's a problem in the pass rush game. He's got really good moves at the line of scrimmage. He can use his hands really well. He's long. He's about 6'3", about 230, 240, who's an impact edge player for them. So we got to know where he is all the time. And then at the linebacker position, the second level, number 8 for them, Giancarlo Rufo, is a returning starter who was their Mike linebacker last year, who can kind of patrol the middle of the field and make plays sideline to sideline as well. So They got some guys there that they're high on. I know, kind of similar to us, they do have a lot of new starters as well on the defensive side of the ball. If you count kind of based off the early two deep, about 6 or 7 of their guys haven't started a game for them in the past. So as it always is with week one, number one, everyone's excited, right? Hopefully we see all you guys in the stands. It's always a good crowd. Everyone's excited. A lot of week one is managing your emotions and, not getting too high pregame, not getting too low if things don't go well early, right? So much of that is that emotional control that we talk about so much as a staff. Secondly, it's having the ability to adjust. We don't know, like, we have film from last year, right? We don't really know how they're going to play us. They haven't seen our offense and how we operate. I'm sure everyone gets everyone's film. I'm sure they've seen our film from Bentley and have a game plan. Obviously, our game plan for them is based off of kind of, like offenses off of last year, but we may be game planning and half our game plan might be out the window after the first drive if they've changed something up, and same thing for them. So having the ability to adjust, a team that can adjust the best has a great chance to win, and that's on the sideline, that's at halftime, and that's that constant communication between players and coaches. And lastly is we have to do what we do well. And offensively, that means we have to find a way to run the football downhill, get our running backs going. We have to find a way to get our quarterbacks in rhythm, to get our guys seeing the ball completed, knowing where their huts are, their access throws. And then we got to be aggressive and we got to put pressure on them. We got to throw the ball downfield. We got to win on some one-on-one matchups down the field. If we can do those three things, and along with our non-negotiable of taking care of the football and not turning it over, we'll be in great shape offensively. Defensively on the flip side, right? We talked about earlier, like, we have to force turnovers. They're going to want to run the football, right? And see, because last year, if you look at the stats kind of based off of that, they had their best rushing game of the season against us. So, if they're going to try to run the ball early and establish the run game, we're high on our D line and our linebackers for a reason. We got to establish the physicality at the point of attack, stop the run, get them behind the sticks in pass rush situations, and then, get our pass rush packages in there and our blitz game going, and, get them behind schedule and get their offense off the field. So, but I think, the X's and O's are one thing, and I know they'll have a great plan. Their coach has been there for a while. Their coordinators have been there for a while, and, they kind of got that program off the floor from where it was to a respectable Patriot League program. But I know our staff and our players, and myself included, are excited to get going. And the ultimate X factor in the game is going to be special teams. And one of our keys to victory every week, we have kind of a 5-pronged key to victory that I know a lot of you guys have seen in prior Zooms, but, play great aggressive special teams is on that plan of victory every week. And what that means for us is we have to win the field position battle. We have to make game-changing plays on special teams, and the game-changing plays happen by going back to your fundamentals and leveraging blocks and vicing tackles and doing a great job as far as our open field mechanics and coming to balance and then being aggressive. Like, we're gonna have to pick and choose our spots, but we're gonna go after kicks. We're gonna do all that sort of stuff to help change the game. It's a 3-phase game. It's offense, defense, and it's special teams, and all three for us this weekend. It's going to be a team effort for us to get this win. We need all 3 phases to show up. Awesome. We'll kick it over to Jaden and talk about some Gridiron Club.
We're almost out of here, guys. No, thank you, Coach. Really appreciate that breakdown and your insight on not only what you walked into, but what we've helped grow here in the past spring and fall camp. But I want to touch on stuff that's been here for a while, and that's the Gridiron Club, right? One of the biggest, things that I'm proud of from this past June, and you guys have seen videos of me already, but just to really hammer it home what we were able to accomplish. I mean, in that fourth quarter, when I asked you guys to put all your 4s up, just like you guys hopefully will this upcoming Saturday, we came in large and in charge here with $260,000 in just 1 month, right? And that's, backed off of our campaign of 130,000, which was the highest in June. And even through a transition year, right? One thing is for certain, that the Gridiron Club is alive and well. And so I'm appreciative of the fact that I get to, orient you guys in a way to inspire you. But at the end of the day, this is all your guys' credit as well. So I wanted to shout that out. But it's a little brief, snippet on, Coulter had talked about nutrition, right? Our Gridiron Club program provided a bunch of snacks and breakfasts and lunches that you can see there. throughout fall camp, as well as 40 team meals in total, right? And you would be surprised how expensive a Jimmy John's sandwich is. But these are huge things for us that when I was a player here, it was hot dogs every single night, or a pretzel or two, right? And that was great. It was more than the people before me had. But it's all about capitalizing on the growth that we've had and continue to broaden our ability to provide a great Division I experience, and we're doing just that. And so another fun thing here that we integrated last year and we're trying to bring back and make a tradition out of is our reunion games, where we'll bring a span of 3 to 4 classes back, honor them for their part in our larger story, and get to experience some really cool things. And so we've sent emails out about this, but if people are in this group or in this Zoom that fall in line with these groups, October 11th, that's our St. Thomas game. We'll have the Tangerine Bowl team in the class of 73 back for that game. Our October 25th game, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be, I apologize for this, it's San Diego. That's what I thought. That would be our 95 to 97 group. Our October 8th game against Presbyterian is the 06 to 08. And then that November 22nd game to end the year, we'll be welcoming back the Cats of 79 to 81. So if you know people that are in those classes that aren't aware of it, make sure that they are. This is a great experience. It'll be a 2-day event behind the scenes, as much as I can allow. But really awesome things that, a lot of people coming back for the first time, experiencing the facilities last year, said that it was a great thing. So we had to bring it back. On top of that, some new things for everybody in this call. Our hospitality area last year, was exceptional with Gallery 18, but the Gridiron Corner area wasn't as great as we had liked it, right? And so I told you guys there'd be more updates on the changes. And so partnering up with the DFPA, we're creating the Cat Country. It's essentially a tailgate outside in the parking lot that our DFPA members, as well as Gridiron Club members at $500 and up, will receive access all year to this great spot. It's behind the flagpoles on the berm side of the stadium. Awesome view of warm-ups. You'll have complimentary food, non-alcoholic beverages, but in true tailgate fashion. We encourage you guys to bring coolers filled with anything that your heart desires within reason, right? We still got a game to cheer on. Can't get too excited out in the parking lot, but awesome thing that we want to kick off this year and spread the word out, as we think that it would be a great way for all members, right, to get together pregame and in community alongside our parents and really just grow the bond, right? Have a flagship presence out in the tailgate area that everybody can see the value of coming to the games early and just being a part of the Division I experience, right? And as well as our Gallery 18 for our stakeholders as well, which was absolutely an incredible thing that this facility has allowed us to create a premium hospitality area. But really excited for what we've got going this year. First one will be this Saturday. So we'll have it, in true Coach Thakkar fashion. I'm competitively going to be try to make it as excellent as possible. And so I'm excited for you guys to be there. And hopefully we'll be able to provide some good juice rolling into the stadium. With that, wanted to open it up again to some Q&A for Coach specifically on some of the things that he's touched on. One of the questions that came in while the captains were talking was about the new offensive scheme. I know you touched on it, Coach, but if there was more, specifics necessary, the title, right, that you would say your offense, or anything else you can kind of elaborate for Richard Short, that'd be much appreciated.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna do what it takes to win. No, I'm just kidding. We're we believe in kind of two like run game. Well, I can break it down for you, kind of run game wise, pass game wise. I don't really have a fancy title for it or anything like that, but we believe in a downhill gap scheme run game, counter, power, pulling down blocks, pulling guards, creating new gaps in the defense, having our offensive linemen be really physical up front. In order to do that, they got to be smart. They got to understand defensive fronts and combinations. We got to communicate really well, starting with our centers, and even all the way back to our quarterbacks and our backfield. To kind of relieve our run game, we will carry a handful of run pass options. We don't go, we're not the super extreme end of it on either way. Like, we don't carry a million. We don't carry not a lot. We're kind of right in the middle there. But we do a pretty good job in the RPO game. And then we want to kind of accomplish two things. We want to be able to spread the field horizontally and stretch the field vertically. So horizontally starts with our quick game, our movement passing, and then the vertical game kind of comes with our true drop back pass, but also our play action plays that really complement our run scheme. I know I got a question right there. Is this the Harvard offense? I mean, there's some similarities there. Obviously, I spent 5 years there, and but I wouldn't say it's the same thing. So, but yeah, so it's I'd like we want to play to our strengths, and certain years are going to look different than others. I've been able to call plays and run this offense, fortunately, for 5 or 6 years at different stops, and every year the stat sheet has looked a little different because of the personnel that we had. We believe in using people where they can help us, whether that's a running back taking some reps at receiver, a quarterback taking reps at running back, or a receiver taking reps as a tight end, or vice versa. So we believe in versatility. And that's why our staff really believes in teaching the game of football, not just memorizing plays. And if we can do that, if we can have that guys that have the skill set and the knowledge to be versatile, we can really reach our full potential. So that's kind of it in a snapshot. You're muted, Jaden.
Got to learn how to do that, Coach. Got a question here that I could answer about home game streaming. So because of the facilities, just like last year, we have a great relationship with ESPN. So they'll be on ESPN Plus every home game. Now, away games is where it gets interesting. Some places, I believe Moorhead might not have the capabilities, but I will make sure that in every e-news going out from now until the end of the season, that there will be a point in that e-news to talk about where you can find the game, a link to it, as well as timing is on top of it. So that would be great. Braxton Barber has a question for you, Coach. What's the injury report on the receiver room? I know Jaleel kind of mentioned it earlier, but if we can touch on that as much as you would like.
Yeah. With the receiver room, nothing's been major, which is a great thing. There's been a lot of minor, so it's been kind of like musical chairs every practice of who's limited reps, who's full reps, and all that. We aren't knock on wood, everyone's trending the right way. We are expecting to be. We should be at full strength come Saturday. We got a couple guys who are kind of on the last step of their rehab right now, but kind of like to what Jaleel alluded to earlier, having some guys, unfortunately have to miss reps, have opened up opportunities for other guys to get those reps. So I believe now, although there was some growing pains with some young guys trying to get acclimated really early because of the injuries, I think we're in a great spot now with the depth and the experience that we were able to kind of build with some of the young guys coming up. But we're not expecting to be short anyone come Saturday, which is great.
Awesome. We got one more question from Mike Wiskoski. How about the defense? Is there movement, sit back, attack? Just elaborate on that.
Yeah. Again, we're going to do what it takes to win, but we're going to be multiple on the defensive front. We are, a mix of a 4 down and a hybrid 3 down. We do believe in movement. Our D, you're going to see movement from our D line. We're going to be really fundamentally sound. Our scheme is going to be fundamentally sound. Our players are going to play with great technique and leverage and fundamentals. But without kind of having gone through it, like with our defense, I think it really fits to our strengths. I think that our guys are active, they're athletic, from really all 11 on the defensive side of the ball. Like our linebackers can run and make plays. Our D line's athletic, they can move. So kind of an attacking movement style of defense is, I think, really fits us. Now, are we going to be, blitzing 6-7 and be in cover 0 every play? Absolutely not. I think there's a time and place for that. But I think the biggest thing for us is we kind of have that versatility piece that allows us to be multiple in what we're doing from a front standpoint, and allows us to move and keep offenses off balance.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I know we hit the 8 o'clock mark. Roger Herbert, if you want to unmute, you got one last question for Coach.
Good, thanks. I couldn't quite figure out how to type this thing in. Yeah, so actually, this is not so much of a question as it is an appeal. Um, I know you've given a lot of thought to what the Thakkar era means on the field. I hope you also, maybe in the coming years, give some thought to how you can shape your, I guess, your alumni room. The Gridiron Club, it's my intuition that we're a relatively committed alumni group, but I have nothing to compare that to. At a bare minimum, we should be an alumni group that puts Harvard and Bentley alums to shame. We certainly get a lot of love from Jaden on this. We feel that our efforts are appreciated, but I think we want more than that. We want, how can we help you, Coach? And how can we help this team? And how can we help this program in the future? And again, I hope you'll give a lot of thought to that as you're thinking about how to shape, again, the Thakkar era on the field. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think I'll tell you what, the commitment from the alumni and the Gridiron Club, it to kind of what you're speaking of, like the involvement, the commitment, the just being around, and has been what a pleasant surprise. Like obviously not knowing it, right? You don't really, when you're looking at it from the outside in, like you don't really know until you're in it. And not only me, but our staff who's come from many different backgrounds and stops. I think everyone has kind of mentioned at one point or another just how awesome it is to like they haven't seen this level of kind of involvement, commitment, and interest from a Gridiron Club or alumni group. So that's been absolutely outstanding. Obviously we are kind of at a point right now, right? I think a huge project, obviously a much needed project that really helps us every single day and will help us recruit and win games for years to come with the facility, was able to get done. And kind of like to where you're talking about, Roger, next is kind of like, kind of what's that next thing? For us, I think in the short term is, really providing an amazing student athlete experience. And I know, I forget if it was Coulter or one of the other captains that talked about kind of the travel piece, right? And we were able to get a third charter flight this year, but like we shouldn't have to put these kids on 7-8 hour bus rides, Friday after classes, right? So I think that's kind of the next thing is kind of how do we get this to the point where we can charter any long trip, and our guys don't have to miss class because we're flying now and not taking an 8-9 hour bus ride, and it makes their experience off the field even better because now they're not playing catch up in the classroom. And they can get back quicker, right? So a lot of people with the travel, they think of the trip there, but not the trip back, right? So when you travel, 8 hours to a place, that's fine. You do it on a Friday, and then all of a sudden you play Saturday all day. By the time you leave, it's 4 or 5 o'clock, and now you're getting back at 1 a.m., right? So that's another night that they, kind of lost of sleep. So, so that experience, and then when it comes to things kind of outside of that, I think something that Jaden and I have kind of talked a lot about and are kind of heard from our captains is, we do the networking nights. We have guys on campus. We go into Charlotte, but finding a more formalized way for some, whether it's one-on-one or group mentorship and connection that way with our alumni group, whether that's, someone specific in a field or someone, who maybe can relate to a certain group of guys and whether it's age or, but I think that having, finding a way to kind of, formalize, I guess if that's the right term, Jaden, that mentorship piece, whereas kind of, hey, you kind of come in and really, this is kind of your plan from freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year to help connect with the alumni and build that network. So I know that's something Jaden and I have kind of spent some time on brainstorming that we're obviously always open for suggestions. I know Jaden's going to be reaching out to people about.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just to piggyback off on that, we're doing basically like a pilot program right now, right? I'm one person, and so it gets difficult sometimes, like trying to game plan. But right now, we're sticking. My full commitment is for our freshmen right now. I think the biggest thing that, I see is guys waiting until their junior year or senior year to really try to get integrated with our Gridiron club. And I want to kind of nip that in the bud and start early, right? So right now, currently working on a program with, I believe, 12 of a freshman that told me they wanted it. I made sure that it's a voluntary thing, not a forced thing. So I made sure that at the end of my message to them, I said, hey, if you really are about this, send I'm ready to work, and I'll know that you're about it, right? So working on that right now, kind of tie those guys with, people in their respective, interests of fields. And so we're working on that. And my idea is, set up things where there's a mandatory meeting, right, for all the alums and the players. Each person represents like one player. And then from that, it's, on their own, right? I think the biggest thing is that we've got to make sure that the guys are about want to do it as much as our alums as well. So continue to work with them, and hopefully we'll get something kind of settled here as the season goes on, especially as they get their first 2 weeks of classes. And if that goes all well, there'll definitely be room for expansion, but definitely something that we're focusing on. Well, guys, we're 7 minutes over, which is great. That means that we had a lot of engagement here. I'm really appreciative of everybody making their time, on this Monday to hear more from Coach and get the surprise guest of captains. I really hope that you guys share the enthusiasm and what you've heard tonight with the rest of your peers. Be disciples and sharing, the work that we've been putting in. And I hope to see all you guys here on Saturday. It's going to be a good one. So I'll see you guys in Cat Country. Have a great day, guys.
Thanks everyone so much. Hopefully see everyone this weekend, and as the season goes along. Doors are always open for you guys, and super excited about this group continuing to support our program, and we want you here. Go Cats.